What has fatherhood changed about you? I mean, I see a different light in your eyes.
Yeah.
Anytime you talk about being a dad, and even just the content that you post, I can see such a different side of you.
I would start to say, like, I was raised by wonderful parents, and more especially my dad. So I looked up to my dad still today. He's old now, but you know, I look up to him, how he raised us. You know, we were only boys. There was never, you know, a girl at home. So we were raised as boys, you know, and morals, values, teachings, you know, from a father figure, and how he loved our mom, you know, and how he loved us as kids, you know. It's just, you know, those things that you learn and you take from your dad, and it's extending to me, and I'm hoping that it will extend to my kids as well one day, you know, more especially my boy child, you know. So I love being a dad, you know, and my parents are very proud of me, and I always want to be proud of my kids as well, as much as my parents that you've made us proud, you've never given us a problem. I don't know when was the last time, I think the way they bone so strict thing, or ke bone clap ke bone through Mafikizolo.
The first time you went to a club
or
was for
December 16 I've always seen people going there, but I never knew what was like a park, the cooler bag, and all those things. And you know, my parents were very, very, very strict, you know. So I thank them, you know, because, you know, I'm not saying going and doing those things, you know, is totally taboo or stuff. You know, it's just that I was raised like differently, you know. So I thank them for all the teaching that they've taught me, and I would like the same for my kids as well, you know. And I guess I've learned from him. So it's just the teachings going down, you know, and me, you know, channeling them to my kids as well.
I have to ask a question, because you mentioned especially the boy child.
Yeah.
I'm mom to a son.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many conversations that we have around masculinity, what boys should be. I'm curious, Horoena, what is your style of parenting when it comes to Ngwana Mushimane? Because we know, Hore, we live in an era where black men balla, Hore, there's no safe place to go. But at the same time, we also have Banna who say, you know, like, how do you approach that? Also knowing how irrelevant of what you tell him, they're watching you. How do you approach raising the boy child?
For me, it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge because me and him, mom, my ex-wife, are separated. You know, he's not staying with me, and I would have loved so much to stay with my son, more especially the boy child. You know, so he's getting, you know, the teachings and more time. He's spending more time with the mom. You know, but even though sometimes he comes and see me and visit me, he knows that once he gets into the dad's car, we're gonna have that conversation. I'll always say, like, my dad, there he goes again with the teachings and the principles and the values, how he was raised and what he wants for me and all that. But I believe I have a role to play as a father to him, you know. It's a God-given role as a father that I need to, you know, give him the wisdom and guide him. We trust and believe that as we teach them and guide them, we trust that they will take our teachings. We hope actually that they will listen to us and take our teachings. But sometimes, even though we tell them, life is a big teacher. You know, because sometimes we become so hard on them, like, I'm expecting this and that and that. But at the end of the day, more especially when they become teenagers, you have gone through a lot of becoming a teenager. It's not easy raising a child.
Is it because they're now exploring themselves? But also, I would imagine, if your dad is this famous person, his music is everywhere. You would want to somehow define your own identity.
Exactly.
And that sometimes means I tell my son all the time, stop being an opposition party. Anything I say, he's like, no, mommy, it's your opposition party, go parliament. But I also understand it's their way of figuring out themselves.
Yes.
So
and they have to, you know. My children are like, yo, Dad, we would really like to come and stay with you. Hey, but you are restricted. Hey, you are so strict. No, I'm not that strict as the way that you think that I am, but it's because I love you guys and I want to guide you, you know, because I have the wisdom, I've experienced life. I didn't read about it, but I want to, you know, extend my teachings to you guys. But I know at the end of the day, you guys will make up your own mind, but I don't want them to say like, but Dad, you never set me down and sit with me as like your son and say, and show me the way and guide me. You know, I don't want to be folding arms and say like, you will figure it out. Even if he's going to figure it out, but I still need to sit with him and say like, son, you know, this and that and that and that and that about life. When I travel with him, I always say to him, I don't want to have the make me feel good conversations with you all the time. I also want to have conversations that are tough and difficult.